Hi, my name is Stacy Johnson. I'm a child therapist, a play therapist in Lawrence, Kansas. My business is Lawrence Play Therapy. I thought I would just hop on here today and make a video pertaining to anxiety. I'm seeing more and more children that I'm working with and parents that I'm working with, and really just society in general, dealing with a lot of anxiety with the COVID-19 and everything that entails. So I just thought it would be good to make a video about dealing with anxiety and maybe some information about neurobiology and how that really plays a role in anxiety, and why certain interventions or certain things that you can do to calm your anxiety really do truly work, because they are working on your brain. So I might look at my notes here, so forgive me. I took some notes just so I would make sure to cover everything I wanted to cover. So as most of us might know, anxiety is really a physiological response in our bodies. So a lot of people think about anxiety and having anxious thoughts, and they think, well, that's just thinking I'm having in my brain. But the mind and the body are connected. So there's always a physiological response that goes along with the anxious thoughts that you are having. So many of the interventions and approaches that I use with children and also with adults do target your body and calming your body, because those really do impact your brain. And many times you almost have to target the body and calming the body before the brain can be calmed. And so although you can use some cognitive behavioral techniques to help with that, but especially in children, they many times hold anxiety in their bodies. So what I'm going to talk about today is more body approaches and ways to take care of calm anxiety using your body. So one thing I want to talk about is the vagus nerve. If you've never heard of the vagus nerve is actually the largest nerve in the human body. And it runs through your whole body. It actually connects your brain to other major organs, such as your heart, your lungs, and even your stomach or your gut. And so it really does play a huge role in anxiety. And it influences, because it's connected to those major organs, the vagus nerve influences your heart rate, your breathing, and your digestion. And so when you do feel anxious, many times your heart rate will raise, you will start breathing very shallow and short breaths. And, some people get sick to their stomach when they feel anxiety. And so part of that is because the vagus nerve is connecting your brain to all of those organs. So what's really important to know about the vagus nerve is that it regulating what they call your vagal tone is really important. So, and that really is just the activity, the biological activity that goes on within your vagus nerve. So the higher your vagal tone, the more ability you have to relax after facing some kind of stress. So increasing your vagal tone actually can help to deal with stress and anxiety. Now, you don't want your vagal tone to be too high. It's kind of finding the right balance, because if your vagal tone is too high, then you are going to be hyperactive. On the other hand, if your vagus tone is too low, you're going to be almost stuck in a freeze response. And so it would be like a form of depression, or really having no reactivity to things. So you don't want no vagus tone either. So I'm going to talk a little bit about vagus nerve stimulation, or finding the right balance for that vagus tone in your body. This is all very, kind of psychobabble. It's a lot of neurobiology, and I love that stuff. So it's part of why I'm talking about it. But really, I mean, another way to look at it is just what are ways that you can calm your body so that you can calm your mind. That's a simple way to put it. But if you love the neurobiology stuff, I would be happy to send some links to you on books or the resources, because there's some really great information out there in the last few years, like Stephen Porges, Bessel van der Kolk, all of those researchers and psychologists that are studying neurobiology really have a good grasp on how to work with anxiety and other mental disorders, mental health issues, and approaching it from a body perspective. So vagus nerve stimulation. So there's lots of things that you can do that are practical things that can help with vagus nerve stimulation. So I'm going to list these things, but I really just want to focus on two of them today in this video. So one is cold exposure. So even you've maybe heard cold showers can actually wake you up and make you feel good. That's true. There's research that proves that. Cold exposure, deep and slow breathing, singing, humming, chanting, gargling, probiotics, meditation, omega-3 fatty acids, exercise, massage, and socializing and laughing. So those are all different ways that you can increase your vagus nerve stimulation and put your body into a correct level of vagal tone. But the one that I'm going to really focus on today is deep and slow breathing, and also the singing, humming, chanting, gargling. So this sounds all fine and great, but how does this apply to today? Well, with the level of anxiety today in the world, with the COVID, the virus going around, I think just being able to implement a couple of these strategies on a daily basis might really help you to be able to calm down and approach tackling your anxiety in a very simple way. It can work for children, it can work for teenagers, it can work for adults. So it's just really a really good way to try to address the anxious thoughts and feelings that many people are having with the current crisis that's going on. So deep breathing. So most people know that deep breathing involves trying to breathe from your diaphragm and not from your chest. I know myself, I catch myself doing short breathing, short breaths, and breathing in my chest and not breathing from my diaphragm. And so if I catch that early enough, I try to do, some deep breathing from my diaphragm, because I know that will calm my body and just help me to feel better overall. So one of the very simple deep breathing techniques is called 4-7-8. Maybe you've heard of it. It's basically breathing in for 4, holding for 4 seconds, holding for 7 seconds, and breathing out for 8 seconds. And it's really important to focus on the breathing out for 8 seconds. And that is because research, just in the last few years, has shown that a longer exhale when you're doing deep breathing stimulates the vagus nerve more than just a short or normal breathing out. So it's really good to focus on that long exhale, taking a longer time to push that air out. And I, in my own practice, I have found that does really help and makes the difference. So I'll demonstrate just, just so you can kind of see what it looks like, the 4-7-8 breathing. It would be obviously you can do as many sets of that as you want. And the more you do, probably the calmer you will feel. And you don't have to do the exact seconds, but it just 4-7-8 just gives you kind of a good guideline to go by as far as how long to do the breathing. A second type of breathing that I want to show you is called heart breathing. And this really just means it kind of involves almost a visualization as well. And heart breathing is really just trying to breathe in through your heart, into your heart, and breathing out of your heart. So it's a way to kind of connect your emotions to your body and what you're feeling. So for some people, they may visualize, what is it that's calming to them in their heart. If you're a spiritual person, I am, then I might picture, breathing. When I'm breathing, I might picture something that makes me feel calm within my spiritual beliefs. But you could do it with anything. You could do it, picturing how thankful you are for your family, how grateful you are. And just as you're breathing, just picturing taking in that air and having it reach through to your heart and then breathing out from your heart. So it's just a little visualization you can do while you do breathing. The next one I'm going to talk about is the awe and humming breathing. This feels a little weird to do in the beginning until you're used to it, but it really does work, and it really does help. They have found that pushing out sound while you're doing deep breathing on the exhale, pushing out sound also stimulates the vagus nerve. And that is because your vagus nerve is also connected to the back of your throat and your vocal cords. So it can be really calming to push out sound while you're doing the exhale on the deep breathing. So I'm going to demonstrate awe, which is basically just pushing out awe when you exhale. So it would be like and that is, you can make that go as long as you want. That is the most singing that you always ever see from me because I don't sing. So the awe on the exhale is the most singing that you'll ever hear from me. The second one I'm going to show is humming. So it is a deep breath in and then humming on the way out. So So that is how you would do the humming one. Like I said, it takes a little getting used to when you're not used to doing this. It almost sounds like some kind of chanting or, ancient musical thing that would be going on. But I will say when I have done this, it actually, for me, it works a lot better at calming my anxiety and my fears than any type of just regular deep breathing. I am a pretty extroverted, outgoing, talkative person, so I don't know if that's it because the noise just helps me to kind of calm. But it is kind of a calming way to do it. And then the last one I'm going to talk about, well, it's two, but they're kind of similar, is one is bee breathing and one is snake breathing. So the bee breathing is I'm glad that's not a real bee. I don't like bees. But I think for kids, doing the bee breathing and doing the snake breathing is really cool because they love, you know, making it fun with the animals. And so the snake breathing is like this. So those are some different types of breathing techniques that you could try for yourself or with your children. They're pretty simple. There's the 4-7-8 breathing, the ah and humming breathing, the bee breathing, the snake breathing, and the heart breathing. So those are 5 different techniques. I have used all of them at different times for myself. I have used them with children. With my own children, I've used them with clients, and I do think they all work. So you kind of have to find what fits for you, and maybe just plain old deep breathing works great and helps you calm. But I guess I just want to get out there and help people understand that anxiety is a real thing, and especially with what's going on in the world today, children are feeling it as much, if not more, than adults are. And we don't always think about that, but this has been huge changes for children, and they need the support to know how to handle these anxious thoughts and feelings they have about all these changes happening. So for parents, for children, or just other adults even, these are just some simple things that you can try out to maybe help with some of the anxiety that's going on nowadays. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be back on maybe in another week or two and do another video, probably pertaining to anxiety as well, since that is a huge presenting issue at this time. So take care, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.